Hey guys, I'm sick. I eat McDonald's when I'm sick, and also when I'm not sick. Apparently those of you that live in Europe have really weird McDonald's, or so I've been told. In Paris, you can buy a beer at McDonald's. Now I ain't talking about no paper cup, I'm talking about a glass of beer. Oh, I'm so ill, I'm wearing my cut-off sweatpants. You know, I should have included that in the pants theory. While sweatpants have the potential to be suave and cool, no matter what, cut-off sweatpants always make you look homeless. At page 147, we're about halfway through the story and the games are about to begin. Oh my god! For a moment, my eyes are dazzled by the bright sunlight and I'm conscious only for a strong wind with the hopeful smell of pine trees. Then I hear the legendary announcement, Claudius Templesmith, as his voice booms all around me. Ladies and gentlemen, let the 74th Hunger Games begin. Woohoo, this is gonna be good. Today we're gonna talk about a new Tim Burton movie. It's called Bright Shadows, or Dark Shadows, whatever. Me and Tim Burton have a complex relationship. Usually in his movies, I think he tends to focus far too much on visuals and making the movie look cool rather than what's actually going on in the movie. Stuff like Beetlejuice and Alice in Wonderland and Batman are all cool-looking movies, but they lack the substance that a normal movie should have, and I feel like Tim Burton usually relies too much on that visual factor to make sure the audience doesn't get bored. And for me, at least, that's usually not enough. And good old Tim's latest production, which shockingly stars Johnny Depp, is no exception. The first 5 minutes of the story are narrated by Barnabas Collins, the main character. He gives us a whole backstory about how his family moved to the New World to start a fishing business, which became really popular, and eventually an entire town was created off of it. And while he's there, a witch falls in love with him, but he doesn't love her back, so she curses him to be a vampire for all eternity, and then locks him in a box for 200 years, and he's all, "Why did you die?" When some construction workers finally dig him out of the ground after 200 years, it takes a bunch of hilarious gags with lava lamps and people on TV and modern music and stuff for him to finally realize that he's in 1972. Well, actually, Jackie Earle Haley just tells him, but whatever. This movie's based off a soap opera from the 1960s that I've never seen, but apparently it was so bad and had such poor quality that it was actually funny to watch when it was really a serious program. And I believe what Tim Burton wanted to do with this movie is capture the feeling of watching Dark Shadows with all the goofy stuff, which I guess he sort of succeeded in doing. A lot of the only real funny moments, aside from the jokes you saw in the previews, came from scenes that were purposefully dramatically overplayed, which created for some sort of funny stuff, but other than that, there's really not much there. It definitely sucks that they had to squish the entire series into an hour and a half, because the Collins family and all the other characters seemed really cool, and I like them, but we didn't get enough time to spend with each individual one, so maybe it's a good thing that they sort of set it up for a sequel at the end. I don't know. Chloe Moretz was in this, and I like her. I think she's an extremely talented young actress. Emphasis on the young, because she's my age, and she was portrayed as like the sexual object in this movie, which was so weird. True, she's usually in some pretty adult movies, and this is kind of low-key for her, but usually she's the kid. When I think Chloe Moretz, I think the little girl from Let Me In and Hit Girl who was 12, not a hot teenager. It's weird. But yeah, Dark Shadows is basically any other Tim Burton movie. It's cool looking and stylistic and weird, but it lacks substance. I mean, in a lot of ways, Edward Scissorhands, another Tim Burton movie, is basically just a much better version of Dark Shadows, so why don't you just go watch that, or watch the TV show. Recommendations for today, 3 Tim Burton movies that I actually like. Ed Wood, Edward Scissorhands, and Big Fish might be one of my favorite movies of all time, so go watch those 3. Goodbye!